Well, good morning and welcome to Wednesday of the 6th week of Easter. Today we find ourselves in the first reading. Look at Acts of the Apostles chapter 17, and over the last 6 weeks, over the last 17 chapters of Acts of the Apostles, I have to be honest with you and say that I find myself looking at my experience of God 2,000 years after this story was written, and admitting that my experience of God is oftentimes very different than the mighty signs and wonders that we see revealed to us in this epic story of the early church. I have to be honest and say that my personal experience of church is very different than the extraordinary inspiration and movement that we read of in this incredible story of Acts of the Apostles. As I look at Acts of the Apostles and the fervor of the early apostles, the bold martyrdom of Stephen, the conversion and proclamation of the gospel by St. Paul, I'm going to look at all of the miracles, all of the signs, all of the wonders. When I see Acts of the Apostles, I am moved to believe in how big God is. And yet, if I were to simply be honest with you and honest with God, so often in the year 2014, a mere 2,000 years removed from the story of Acts of the Apostles, I often believe in a small God. I don't expect miracles. I don't expect the grandeur or splendor of God to be revealed in such a powerful way. And so I'm confronted with Acts of the Apostles, not with how big is God in the story of Acts, but how small God is in my perception, in my expectation, in my prayer. It's a real personal question for us today. How small is God to you? So many times I think because our prayers aren't answered the way we want, or because we're dealing with hardships in life, or just because we have a slow fade away from the Lord, I find that far too many of us believe in a small God. It's easy for us to be seduced into believing that God, he's busy with other things. He's so small, he can't handle all of the demands on him. And so he's busy with other things. He doesn't have time to listen to us. Or we can feel like we're in a rut for so many years, or in a particular cycle for so many years, that we don't believe that God can really intervene or heal or move in the way that we really desire or the way that we really want. It's easy for us to believe that God is small. Today in the Gospel of John, we complement the powerful story of Acts with this very poignant line at the end of John 16, verse 15. Jesus says, "Everything that the Father has is mine." Everything. Everything in the Father has been given to Jesus. That's a lot. That's not small God. That's a big God. That is a God who made the universe and who beat death and raised the dead to life and healed and split the Red Sea. That's a big God. Everything in the Father has been given to Jesus. And then he says something very challenging. He says, and the Spirit will come, and it says in John, quote unquote, "He will take from what is mine and give it to you." Everything that was given to Jesus, Jesus wants it to be given to us. Everything. A big God, a powerful God. Everything. And so I ask us today, how small is God? How small is our God? How small is our belief in God? Do we believe that God wants to give us everything? Or do we believe that God is as small as our experience, even if that's been disappointing? God is real. And God is really speaking to you today. Not a small God, but a big God who wants to give you everything. God bless you.